Good day everyone. So for today's vlog, we'll be tackling about mental frames. But before that, allow me to introduce the reporters first. So we have here Miss Shalami Cudizar, Miss Annalie Dais, and Miss Andrea Carosca.
We'll be discussing about the lesson 4, chapter 4, which is the mental frames. So it is all about how a person views the situation can affect her understanding of the facts and influence how she determines right from wrong. So the concept of a mental frame has become more widely known in our recent years that human thought is structured within the body as emergent patterns with implicit logics, structured rules and relationships and emotional sensibilities.
So I've been assigned to discuss what is framing and cognitive bias. So let's start with framing. So when we say framing, it is a frame of reference or point of view that refers to the way we look at a given situation. So the framing effect is a cognitive bias that impacts our decision making when said in different ways. So in other words, we are influenced by how the same fact or questions is presented. Some frames minimize or even omit the ethical aspects of a decision. So framing describes how our responses to situations, including our ethical judgments, are impacted just by how those situations are posed or viewed. For example, studies show that if people are prompted to frame a situation only in terms of money or economic interests, they often leave out ethical considerations. So, in a famous study, a daycare center having difficulty with parents picking up their children on time started charging a fine for being late. Parents then reframe the issue from an ethical one. It's not nice for me to burden the staff in this way to a business one. I can buy the staff's time by paying this fine. So late pickups increase rather than decrease due to this change in the parent's frame of reference. So by remembering to consider the ethical implications of any situation, we can keep ethics in our frame of reference when making decisions. Similarly, the framing effect in psychology is a cognitive bias that humans suffer from. We react unknowingly to the things the way they are conveyed to us. Consider the simple example of a pessimist and an optimist. A glass of water which is either half full or half empty, both are equivalent truths. However, when portrayed in a negative frame, you think that the glass is half empty. If portrayed in a positive frame, you see the glass as half full. Such frames can be used to create marketing gimmicks by advertisers to trick consumers into buying their products. This is cognitive bias that human brains tend to have. So now let's move on to cognitive bias. It is a systematic error in thinking that occurs when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them and affects the decision and judgment that they make. It impacts ethical decision making and can help explain why good people make bad decisions. This can occur when individuals want to obtain desired outcomes for themselves, such as career advancements or financial reward. People generally believe that they are mostly rational in their thinking, decisions, and actions. But even the smartest and best educated people often commit cognitive errors as they make financial, medical, personal, and ethical decisions. These errors in thinking, also called cognitive bias, affect all people in virtually every situation. For example, physicians must be aware of the error of overconfidence bias as they make diagnoses which could cause them to insufficiently value other doctors' opinions. Likewise, physicians and everyone else must watch out for confirmation bias, which is the tendency people have to process new information in a way that is heavily influenced by their existing beliefs. The human brain is powerful but subject to limitations. Cognitive biases are often a result of your brain's attempt to simplify information processing. Biases often work as rules of thumb that help you make sense of the world and reach decisions with relative speed. So, some of these biases are related to memory. The way you remember an event may be biased for a number of reasons, and that, in turn, can lead to a biased thinking and decision making. Second is other cognitive biases might be related to problem with attention. Since attention is a limited resource, people have to be selective about what they pay attention to in the world around them. Everyone exhibits cognitive bias. It might be easier to spot in others, but it is important to know that it is something that also affects your thinking. So, here are some signs that you might be influenced by some type of cognitive bias. So, first, only paying attention to news stories that confirm your opinions. Second, blaming outside factors when things don't go your way. Third, attributing other people's success to luck but taking personal credit for your own accomplishments. Fourth, assuming that everyone else shares your opinions or beliefs. Fifth, learning a little about a topic and then assuming you know all there is to know about it. In conclusion, when you are making judgments and decisions about the world around you, you like to think that you are objective, logical, and capable of taking in and evaluating all the information that is available to you. Unfortunately, these biases sometimes trip us up, leading to poor decisions and bad judgments.
Good day, everyone. So, Analyze is here, and welcome to our next topic, which is one of the concept of mental frames, which is conformity bias. What is conformity bias? So, conformity bias is the tendency people have to behave like those around them, rather than using their own personal judgment. So, people seem to be more comfortable mimicking others, even regarding ethical matters. So, conformity is the act of changing your behaviors in order to fit in or go along with the people around you. While in some cases, the social influence might involve agreeing with or acting like the majority of people in a specific group, or it might involve behaving in a particular way in order to be perceived as normal by a group. So, we have example of conformity bias. So, studies shows that people are more likely to act in a pro-social manner, such as contributing to charity or conserving water if they see or hear that others are doing it too. So knowing that those around us are making an ethical choice indicates it's the social norm and makes it easier for us to follow the suit. Well, unfortunately, the flip side is also true. As psychologist Dan Early notes, cheating is contagious. When we see others succeed by cheating, it makes us more likely to cheat as well. So indeed, the conformity bias can cause people to simply follow the herd rather than using their own independent ethical judgment. So conformity bias is a serious issue as it can lead to serious lapses and have severe repercussions for a company or for a community. These types of bias is common people because we seek acceptance and validation from other people. Further, people want to hold views and opinions that are considered to be agreeable within their community. So that's all for the community bias.
Good day, everyone. I am the last reporting of Chapter 4, Lesson 4, which is the confirmation bias. By the way, I am Andrea Marie Carrasca. Confirmation bias is a tendency of people's mind to seek out information that support views they already hold. It is also leads people to interpret evidence in ways that support their pre-existing beliefs, expectation, or hypothesis. It is happen when a person gives more weight to evidence that confirms their beliefs and undervalues evidence that could disprove it. Then, people easily accept new information that is consistent with their beliefs, but are skeptical or information that contradict them. So, the confirmation bias can easily lead us to reach inaccurate and even unethical conclusion. So, like for example, when physicians have an idea about a patient's diagnosis, they may focus on evidence that support their theory while they undervalue evidence that support an equally plausible alternative diagnosis. Likewise, police officers who accept stereotypes that link young black men to crime may gather and process clues in one-sided way. when investigated a crime with a black suspect. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.